This is Cafe English from Venture English. Thanks for coming in. We'll be talking about topics that come up every day. Get your listening practice, new vocabulary, and even some useful idioms for your next conversation with friends or colleagues.
Hi everybody, Paul Preston here. Thanks for joining me this week on Cafe English. And this week I've been thinking a lot about mothers because one of the big holidays in May in the US is Mother's Day. And I don't know if Mother's Day is celebrated in your country or if it's celebrated at the same time. Here in Japan, Mother's Day is celebrated on the same Sunday as Mother's Day in the US, but I think it's different in different places, of course. Or maybe there is no Mother's Day where you're from. But it is worthwhile to think about mothers and think about families as well. Family experience is very different, of course, in different cultures. How we relate to our families, how we communicate with our families, and how we live together is different in different cultures. It's one of those things that we kind of take for granted, our own personal experience with our families. And of course, it's a very important experience because it develops who we are, or at least a part of who we are, who our family is, who our brothers and sisters are, who our parents build and develop us into being. Of course, this is a big part of ourselves. So, families are important. But there are different things in different cultures, and I notice those sometimes when I compare my own growing up in the US with my son who grows up in Japan in a different cultural environment. And one of the big things that I notice is that American families tend to be a bit more strict for kids at a younger age and a little bit less strict or demanding on kids at an older age than Japanese culture. In other words, I find that young kids in Japan, kindergarten or early elementary school or younger, are really allowed to sort of do what they want for the most part, of course, within reason, but there's not a strong insistence on doing chores or doing work around the house or expectations for the family. Where in the US, those kinds of responsibilities start pretty young, and we see kindergarten age kids are already expected to help out a little bit around the family and around the house. But older kids are also expected to help out around the house. We don't see that much either in Japanese culture because in Japanese culture, older kids, maybe older elementary up to junior high or high school kids, are expected to do a lot of studying, focusing on their studies, and their studies become very, very intense full-time jobs. They have no time for chores around the house. So that's a very different way of thinking between Japan and the US. And it affects, of course, the way children grow up and their perspective when they become adults, when they become mothers, and when they become fathers. So, how do you celebrate your Mother's Day? Well, I think that one of the ways that's very common in the US is breakfast in bed. The idea here is that your mother always has to get up and make breakfast for you every day. Well, maybe it's actually true or maybe it isn't, but that's the sort of traditional idea. Well, the idea of the breakfast in bed is mother can rest today and she can eat her breakfast, she can lie in bed, she doesn't have to get up at all, and we'll make a wonderful breakfast for her. This is a very traditional way of thinking. I bet you not very many mothers actually get breakfast in bed, especially now. Maybe back in the 1950s that was more common, I don't know. But anyway, the idea is taking your mother's responsibilities away for a day and letting her just enjoy the day. Of course, the same is true about Father's Day, which happens in June in the US, and the same thing. You take the father's responsibilities away for a day so that they can watch sports or do something else that's very traditional, but probably doesn't happen that much in reality. Another popular thing is taking mother or father out to dinner. That's a very common thing. And there might be some presents or some flowers or something like that as well. But mostly it's about trying to show your mother and later your father, show your mother that you appreciate her in some way. And that sentiment is, of course, very important and something that, well, we should all do every day, but we often forget. But at least there's one day where you can really focus on showing your mother how much she means to you. And I hope that you'll think about doing that even if you don't celebrate Mother's Day. It's something that will make you feel really good. And of course, it's something that will make your mother feel good. So there you go. That's a little bit about Mother's Day, at least from my perspective as an American. Thank you so much for joining me this week on Cafe English. And of course, as I say every week, please do let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you improve your English, practice your listening skills. If there's topics you'd like to talk about, please just let me know in the comments. Come over to VenturEnglish.com, become a member, VenturEnglish.com, become a member, because then you can communicate with me directly. And also you can sign up for one-on-one sessions actually to practice English with me or with my training partner, Gareth. Both of us are available for that. You can join us for seminars as well. We have those sometimes, mostly business seminars, but you're welcome to join those. Of course, they do cost some, but they're, I think, very worth it. Also, there are courses available as well on the website. Check out our podcast and check out our other shows on the YouTube channel as well. All of this is intended to help you become better at English. Practice more, get more confident, be a better speaker. So I hope it's helping. I hope it's working for you. And let me know what I can do to make it better. Thanks for joining me this week. Please subscribe to and join me next week for another episode of Cafe English. Have a good week, everybody. Hey, I just wanted to let you know real quick. Maybe you have some concerns about how you're writing emails. We have a course for that at VenturEnglish.com. It's an email writing course. It goes through a lot of details about how to write emails and gives you a lot of advice about how to structure, how to use the right phrases and the right words, and also how to read emails that come to you. So check out that email course at VenturEnglish.com. If that's something that you think you can use, I think you'll enjoy it.
Hey, thanks for joining me this week at Cafe English. If you'd like some more English practice, why not check out some of the other programs on the Venture English channel? We feature coaching advice and study tips to improve your English. Don't forget to subscribe and come back often. You can also go to our webpage at VenturEnglish.com. Become a member for free and maybe even try some of our courses. At Venture English, our goal is to help you speak English better.